We all saw Kody forget birthdays, demand loyalty like a king demanding taxes from peasants who had nothing left to give. We watched the light fade from Gabriel's eyes and frustration boil over in Garrison. But what happened when the cameras finally turned off? New photos, insider tips, and exclusive reports reveal a seismic shift in the Brown family dynasty that TLC isn't showing. The adult sons aren't merely tolerating their mother's new husband, they're looking up to him. Whispers tell of a secret meeting, a beer and barbecue summit, where the torch was quietly passed. Did David Woolley just become the father Kody refused to be? Did Kody Brown's sons finally find a man who treats them like men, not subjects? This isn't a story of a wife leaving a husband. It's a tale of a father being replaced by someone better. Before we dive into the secret mentorship and the massive shift in family hierarchy, there's one thing you must do: subscribe to the Sister Wives crew. Hit like if you think the boys deserve a real role model. And turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We're going deeper than anyone else. To understand why David Woolley's presence shatters Kody's ego, we must revisit the wound that started it all, the broken bond. This isn't about divorce. It's about the systematic alienation of adult sons by a father who couldn't handle their independence. Think back to the CO era. That was the catalyst, but the cracks existed long before. We saw Kody in his folding chair, shouting rules like a drill sergeant, maintaining social distance, enforcing obedience. Look at his sons' faces during those moments. Gabriel in the driveway wasn't just reality TV. It was heartbreak documented in real time. Gabriel pleaded for connection, for a father who would be a dad, not a patriarch. Kody withheld affection, made love conditional, teaching his sons that obedience came before fatherly love. Kody's fatal mistake was thinking adult men could be ruled like children, punished for defiance, or shouted into submission. Remember the ultimatum? He wanted Garrison and Gabe out, ready to bypass Janelle to assert control during a pandemic. That moment marked the dynasty's death. When a father prioritizes comfort and control over his children's safety and emotional well-being, he forfeits the right to lead. The boys didn't leave, Kody did. Retreating to Robin's mansion with younger children, he left a void in the lives of his older sons. Nature abhors a vacuum. And this is where the narrative pivots. For years, the boys navigated life without a compass. Janelle was a rock, a warrior, a mother. But a father-son dynamic was missing. They needed a man to show them how to treat women, handle life, and walk the world with confidence. Kody modeled chaos and victimhood, constantly complaining about persecution, wives, and lack of respect. Young men seek strength, stability, stoicism, not victim energy. Enter David Woolley. When Christine introduced David, the world fixated on romance, weddings, and dresses. But the real story was in the background: body language, subtle interactions, whispers of insider accounts. David's integration wasn't just smooth, it was magnetic. Why? Because David embodies everything Kody is not. A man's man, hands-on, owns a construction business, rides motorcycles, drinks beer not as a rebellion but as a symbol of connection to the real world. The theory of the beer and BBQ summit emerges. A backyard gathering, no cameras, no Kody, just David and the boys. He doesn't lecture. He listens, laughs, treats them like peers. He earns respect by simply being steady, grounded, human. Kody demanded respect. David inspired it. Kody tried to rule. David leads by example. Consider the Nacho incident versus the Queen treatment. Sons' loyalty and view of their father are shaped by how he treats their mother. For years, they witnessed Kody humiliate Christine, favor Robin, and withhold intimacy. That created deep wounds, a protective instinct unfulfilled. David came in, adoring Christine publicly, validating her, celebrating her joy. That healed the boys' hearts. They love David not just for him but for how he treats their mother. Kody's efforts to paint Christine as unlovable collapsed silently. David's influence extends further: mentorship, career advice, real-life guidance. The boys are pragmatic, they follow someone who has tangible success, stability, and wisdom. Pedin Brown, the family's alpha wildcard, has publicly endorsed David, signaling acceptance and respect. David doesn't compete. He gives space, acknowledges strength without threat. That earns loyalty. Geography amplifies the contrast. Kody sits isolated in the mansion with Robin and younger children, distant from the older sons. David's world is full of laughter, holidays, and family unity. The center of the Brown universe has shifted. And the most painful truth for Kody? It's effortless. David doesn't steal the family. He nurtures it. Kody obsessed over being a patriarch, controlling everything, using loyalty tests as a tool. David gives loyalty first, modeling stability and compassion. The beer and BBQ summit wasn't just casual, it symbolized liberation. The sons could finally relax, breathe, and be themselves. David's mentorship extends to practical life lessons, business advice, construction, investment tools Kody lacked or withheld. The psychological shift is profound. Gabriel, once heartbroken by Kody's neglect, embraces David through consistency and presence. Pedden's respect underscores secure masculinity. David's quiet alpha status contrasts with Kody's performative one. Real leadership isn't announced, it's embodied. The sons witness calm strength, stability, and unconditional care, learning that masculinity is quiet, grounded, and responsible. Every gesture matters. Leaning in, open smiles, shared laughter all contrast with the rigid, fearful interactions of the past. David replaces Kody not through drama but by providing comfort, stability, mentorship, and love. The boys are thriving because the foundation is now solid. Kody offered judgment and rules. David offers the future and acceptance. Financial wisdom reinforces the shift. Coyote Pass, once a symbol of Kody's control, is debt-laden. David represents real security. The boys can build lives without fear. Manual labor, shoulder-to-shoulder work, practical guidance. The gray rock technique, David equips them with tools to survive, thrive, and remain unshaken by Kody's drama. The Brown dynasty hasn't ended, it's evolved. Love, mentorship, and stability now reign, and the boys have chosen. They replace toxicity with guidance, chaos with peace, absence with presence. David didn't steal the family, he rescued them from a sinking ship. Kody's fall only magnifies David's rise. The beer and BBQ summit wasn't just a gathering, it was a coronation. The boys silently crowned David king by offering a beer, a glance, a smile, a trust Kody had long lost. For the first time in years, the Brown sons breathe freely, anchored by a father figure who truly shows up. The dynasty has moved addresses. Kody wasn't invited to the housewarming party, but David poured the drinks. Stability, mentorship, genuine love, these are the new currencies. The father to the fatherless arc is real. The boys have a dad now, and David is rewriting the Brown family legacy, one beer, one smile, one conversation at a time. The subtle yet seismic shifts in the family dynamics are happening behind the camera, in quiet moments rather than dramatic confrontations. Conversations, shared projects, casual hangouts, these are the moments that reveal who the boys truly respect and trust. The so-called beer and BBQ summit may sound like a casual get-together, but insiders describe it as a test of trust and authenticity. Kody demanded respect through authority while David earned it through genuine connection. At that backyard table, the boys weren't just drinking beer, they were watching a new model of masculinity unfold. A simple gesture, a conversation without judgment, signaled the passing of the torch. The difference in parenting style is stark. Kody's approach was transactional, obedience for affection, compliance for approval. David's approach is transformational, trust for guidance, respect for modeling. The boys are observing how a man treats his family and absorbing lessons Kody never offered. The impact of past wounds is still present, especially moments like the nachos incident, where they internalized that love could be withheld for trivial reasons. Now, seeing David celebrate Christine openly and cherish her worth, they are witnessing a restoration of trust and respect. David is more than a social figure in the family, he is a practical guide. He advises on careers, business ventures, and personal growth. Where Kody was inconsistent and chaotic, David provides a roadmap. Garrison, Pedden, and Gabe now have someone who offers real tools, not lectures. The silent approval from Pedden, the protective son, is especially telling. David has earned respect without conflict, something rare in a family shaped by ego and control. The family's center of gravity is shifting. Kody's world is isolated, while David's presence is a hub of laughter, projects, and mentorship. Photos, social media posts, and insider accounts show relaxed body language and genuine warmth, signaling a transfer of loyalty. Financial responsibility is another factor. Coyote Pass, once a symbol of Kody's promise, is now a source of instability. David's competence offers security and stability, which the boys notice. His guidance reassures them about their futures without relying on their father. David's role as protector is also critical. The boys once felt the need to guard their mother emotionally because Kody failed to do so. David's open love for Christine allows them to relax, building trust naturally. Holiday gatherings highlight the contrast further. Kody's ultimatums created tension, while David's invitations are genuine, inclusive, and free from manipulation. The boys' alignment with him is about survival, sanity, and connection, not rebellion. The fatherless arc is nearing completion. These young men, shaped by neglect and disappointment, now have a model of masculinity they can follow. Gabriel, most affected by Kody's absence, sees consistency and quiet authority. Pedden and Garrison learned strength without domination. David extends this influence to Christine, Janelle, and the grandkids, showing what it means to lead through care rather than control. Kody, focused on rituals of obedience, misses the point. Leadership is earned through presence and integrity. Ultimately, Kody's true failure is proving unnecessary. Every milestone David attends reinforces his role, while Kody's legacy fades. David teaches the boys to navigate life without resentment, to maintain dignity, and to embrace healthy masculinity. Loyalty is earned through action and care, not demanded through control. The family has evolved, and the center of leadership is now defined by presence, care, and integrity rather than entitlement. Kody is no longer at the table. David quietly became the father they needed, and the family is thriving under his guidance. Kody's financial missteps have always been an open secret, but their impact on the family is now impossible to ignore. Coyote Pass, the so-called dream home, has become a source of tension and stress rather than pride. Bills pile up, projects stall, and the constant threat of instability looms over everyone. For years, the children saw their father promise security and deliver chaos. It created a quiet anxiety, a sense that life was unpredictable and that they had to be vigilant. David, by contrast, brings clarity, foresight, and a practical sense of responsibility. Where Kody's decisions were erratic, David's approach is methodical, reliable, and reassuring. Money may seem trivial in comparison to love and respect, but in this household, it signals competence. The boys notice who actually manages resources well, who plans for the future, and who can protect their family from unnecessary hardship. Every well-thought-out decision by David contrasts sharply with Kody's impulsive choices. The family is learning, whether they articulate it or not, that stability is a form of love. The quiet reassurance of a balanced budget and realistic planning builds trust, faster than any speech or demand ever could. Christine's financial independence is another revelation for the boys. Under Kody, she often had to navigate constraints and unspoken rules, balancing affection with survival. With David, they see her empowered, making decisions, investing in herself, and living without fear of retribution. The boys absorb this lesson naturally. Respect grows in environments where competence and care coexist. They learn that leadership isn't about control, it's about enabling others to thrive. Kody's attempts to assert dominance only highlight his shortcomings. Meetings about property, discussions about investments, and casual conversations about the future all reveal gaps in his knowledge and judgment. The boys, who once deferred automatically, now question and observe critically. The contrast between father and stepfather could not be more apparent. David's calm problem-solving makes the family feel safe. Kody's erratic behavior breeds uncertainty. Every interaction reinforces who truly earns their loyalty. Even outside financial matters, the shift is clear. David demonstrates emotional intelligence. He listens, he acknowledges mistakes, and he models accountability. The boys watch him navigate conflicts without anger or coercion, a stark contrast to Kody's reactive approach. They learn by observation. True authority does not require intimidation, it requires consistency, fairness, and presence. Kody, meanwhile, is increasingly irrelevant in these lessons. His influence is shrinking as the boys naturally gravitate toward the adult, who meets their needs holistically. The generational implications are profound. These boys are internalizing a new model of masculinity and responsibility, one rooted in competence and compassion rather than dominance and control. They see that family loyalty is a two-way street. Respect must be earned and nurtured, not demanded. David's quiet leadership shapes their futures more than Kody ever did, establishing patterns that will influence how they treat their own families, their careers, and their communities. By the time the family sits down for a holiday meal, the transformation is undeniable. Laughter flows, conversations are relaxed, and every boy is engaged without reservation. Where Kody's presence once loomed as a source of tension, David's guidance now radiates as a stabilizing force. The family's center of gravity has shifted, and the boys recognize it instinctively. Leadership, trust, and respect have been redefined, and Kody finds himself sidelined not through confrontation, but through the undeniable weight of competence, care, and integrity.